What's up, everybody? This is Asonics Fan Ben, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to get the most out of the Spanish faction. So the Spanish are one of the big four or big six factions. They were an original from Spanish Main, one of the first three factions introduced. They are one of the best factions without a doubt. You can make a pretty good case that they're possibly the second best faction after the Pirates. I think that's how I rank them in general, although there's a lot of caveats to that, including campaign gameplay, where the English have the most victories. And speaking of campaign games, I guess I could say I'm qualified to talk about this topic because, spoiler alert, but I did win Vassal Campaign Game 1 as the Spanish, beating all of the other big six factions in epic grand style. And the Spanish pretty much dominated pretty much the whole game. That's kind of the legacy of that game, is the game was Spanish in a way. And I used a lot of their best ships and tactics, and anyway, so I'm going to go into the ships here. So the ways to get the best, how to make the most out of the Spanish, I would say, is use their best ships, of course, as usual, but specifically, they have a lot of great 4-masters and a few ridiculously good 5-masters. And then they also have a decent amount of smaller gold runners, though not as many as the French and the Pirates. So to get the most out of them, I would say go with a balanced approach similar to the French, because they can fight and get gold with the best of them. They can do both extremely well. I would say they're a little bit better at getting gold and fighting, but it's pretty close, as we'll see here. So, and the Spanish are a little bit unique compared to some of the other big six or big four factions, because they did get shafted a little bit in terms of 5-masters. They have a few incredible 5-masters and then a bunch that aren't as good. And sometimes they don't have 3 and 2 masters and 1 masters that are as good as like French and pirate counterparts. So they're a little bit unique in that regard. And I'll go over some of their gunships here, for example. So the Constructible is one of the best, absolute best gunships in the game. And there's 2 versions, which are both wicked good. El Corazado is essentially the best gunship in the game in terms of one-on-one action. It just gunship versus gunship. The ship is on par with the Constitution and the Endeavor, HMS Endeavor, for pretty much title of best gunship in the game. And this is the Spanish gunships ranking thread, actually, on Miniature Trading. I just updated it recently, not for this video actually, but about a week ago I revised my rankings. So anyway, and Santa Ana is another amazing one. La Resolucion, basically with World Hater built in, has 4 rank 1 cannons essentially. Asesino de la Nave is one of the most devastating 3-masters in the game. And you can see kind of an interesting mix of ship sizes here, because the Spanish don't have like that concentrated firepower at the top quite as much. Like the French and the English and even the Pirates, they all have like a bunch of amazing 5-masters that are tough to rank against each other. The Spanish are more unique in that the Constructible and Corazado stand out, but then after that, it's kind of just a mix of like random 2, 3, and 4-masted ships that are really good, including El Algeciras, which is one of the best escort gunships in the game, or I should say support gunships, because you just put a captain on, 6 points, you got LS speed and 2 rank 3 cannons. So, and it's a great flotilla tug as well. So you can see pretty good firepower here. I'll put links in the description below to these different threads. And top 10 Spanish gold runners is a pretty impressive list. So La Monarca is amazing. La Santa Isabel. La Joya del Sol is a 4-master with 8 cargo spaces and SS move for just 12 points. So that's insane. And now I'm going to get into one of their biggest strengths, which is part of the reason the Spanish won Vassal Campaign Game 1 with me controlling them. So gold bonuses are one of the best abilities in the game. So one of the ship's treasures is worth +1 or +2 gold when unloaded at your home island. You can see the Santa Isabel is a +2 gold ability, along with great speed and cargo and solid cannons. So this is a game-winning ability because the game is based on gold. So if there's 30 gold in a treasure distribution in a standard game at 40 points, if you have a +2 gold ability and you use it even once, if the fleets were relatively evenly matched, and let's say you both got 15 gold apiece, that +2 gold ability would give you the edge, or +1 could give you the edge if it would normally be a tie. So you can imagine how powerful it would be even in a small game if you got the +2 gold ability, for example, and applied it to at least 2 coins or maybe 3. So you'd start to get an advantage of like 4 gold, advantage of 6 gold, like quite quickly. So, and Vassal Tournament number 2 really proved the worth of this because some of the most competitive fleets of all time use gold bonuses in abundance to the point where you'll have 50 or 60 gold at the end of the game when there was only 30 to start with, because you're adding so much from really effective fleets. But anyway, back to the Spanish though, this is one of their biggest strengths because they have a lot of ships with this built in. So Santa Isabel is one of the best ships and hybrids in the game just in general. An amazing ship, could probably be 18 points or more. El Alquimista and San Pedro are 2 3-masters, both with 4 cargo, the +2 gold ability, and solid cannons. They're actually hybrid potential ships, but they basically have the +2 gold ability as well. The native canoes actually have the +1 gold ability, so in Vassal Campaign Game 1, the Spanish launched a ton of their native canoes. They had 35 in play, 7 sets at one time, and so that you can imagine how much gold bonuses were racking up in that game. The Morning Star is a 9-point 5-master with 6 cargo and SS speed. I mean, you can just see how overpowered the Spanish can be. It's kind of frustrating, actually. The Morning Star, she has a negative ability, which is part of the reason the cost is low. But that being said, she should still be more expensive. I could see 12 or 13 at a minimum, really. The Buscadores, they got a hoist, only 14 points for 7 cargo. It's another great treasure ship. Santa Ana, and then they've got some other +2 gold abilities throughout, including some of the named crew, which I'll get into now. In terms of named crew, the Spanish aren't quite on par with the English or the pirates in terms of fighting named crew, at least not that I have seen and experienced. But that being said, they're still one of the best factions for named crew as well. I would say, to get the most out of the Spanish, use some of their more unique named crew. So I'm just going to go through these real quick. They got a generic EA crew with Alarico Castro, Captain and Reroll with Miranda. They got at least a couple world haters as well. Bianco's Haulers. Alright, so here we get into some of the combos. So Master Bianco and Bianco's Haulers are 2 of the Spanish most unique crew, and they both got 2 versions from Spanish Main and Savage Shores. The Savage Shores version of Bianco's Hauler says the ship cannot be shot at while docked, and that's the only version, that's the only crew in the game with that ability. It's on a few other ships, but that's a potentially pretty powerful ability. So you could camp out a gunship at a fort and really make it a stronghold, or you could use it on a gold runner with a lot of cargo space as a really good defensive ability. And the original version of Castro is same action twice, so the Born Leader keyword, so that gives them a cheap source of action generators. And he links to a +1 boarding crew. Antonio de Silva is a crew killer for 2 points, very good ability, good price point as well. They did get a 0 limit ransom +5 crew with Amor, and we'll see the reroller as well later on. Dominic Freda is one of the best crew in the game. He got 2 versions, Rise of the Fiends, and the common version is Explorer and then +1 cargo spaces, doesn't take up cargo space. That's an amazing crew for gold runners like La Monarca. You could just put him on La Monarca, 12 points, triple S speed, 5 cargo, and then the Monarca has a nice ability on top of it. It just becomes overpowered real quick. So, and then his other version is Explorer and +2 gold. So here we see it again, this time on a crew, a wicked good crew. Both of the versions are fantastic. So the limited edition version of Dominic Freda is just insane. So you can see the gold bonuses really piling up. And then there's another version of him with Team Action twice, but not as good of a version, but still. They've got Captain with S-boarding. Alfonso de Castilla is a crew killing captain, I should say, for 5 points. There's their 0 limit ransom reroller, Vaquero, and so they've got both of the limit ransom crew that most of the big 6 factions have, and another EA crew, this one for 6, but still worth it, I would say. EA is probably worth 7 points, realistically. Fernando Sanchez, they got a Home Island Raider, 5 points is pretty pricey, but still an interesting option there. And then the Inquisitor is kind of meh. Joaquin Vega is extremely unique. The ship ignores the first hit. She takes each turn as long as she has all of her masts. So that's a fantastic defensive ability that you don't really see on crew. And you can put him on El Corazado to require an opponent to get 3 hits just to eliminate the first mast of that ship. So really brutal. I pretty much always put him on the Corazado to make her the best gunship around. So again, how to get the most out of the Spanish. Not necessarily the best named crew option in the game. The pirates are better, and I would say the English are better for fighting in terms of name crew. But the Spanish have like really unique options that no other factions have, such as Vega, Frida. The combination that Dominic Frida's has, you don't really see those ability combos anywhere else, and we'll see some more too, such as Luis Zuen. So they get a 2-point captain. Spanish are pretty overpowered. It's kind of, I don't know. Sometimes I don't like them as much as the other big 4 factions, even though the pirates are better. Anyway, so Zuen has hostile pirate. So kids made him 2 points, so they get a 2-point captain, which is incredible. So you can get the Constructible moving SSLS with her abilities with a captain and helmsman for just 21 points, which is totally insane. And they also got the other version of Zuen is a world-hating captain, so that's still a great combo as well, and one that I've used many times with great success in the past. They do have a couple stinkers like Antonio, but anyway, so Bianco is linked to his haulers. The first version is +1 cargo spaces. The second one is more interesting, Cargo Master, which gives all your ships of the same nationality +1 to cargo spaces, and then Secret Hold. So both versions of Bianco are great, especially the second version from Savage Shores. So another really unique crew. That's the only named Cargo Master in the game, and the only other one is the American generic Cargo Master from Savage Shores. They got an L range booster, the generic crew. Nemesio Diaz, they got the first canceller, so always like to have a canceller, especially the big factions should always have at least one of each, at least one named crew that's a canceller. Roberto Santana is a +1 to cannon rolls, like Admiral type crew, so that's a good one. Only the English got that ability. And then Rolando is okay, not too great. And yeah, some of these other ones aren't as good. They did get some captain escorting crew, not as many as the French maybe, but still a handful. So Victor de Alva, his Fire and Steel version is captain with extra action in 1 cargo space, and he links to the San Cristobal. So this is yet another reason the San Cristobal is one of the best 5 masters in the game, and one of the most overpowered ships ever. So it's just, the combos are just ridiculous. So Victor de Alva is perfect for that ship to turn her into a beast hybrid, and especially with a helmsman and re-rolling back row aboard who could link to De Alva because of his extra ability, and then essentially not take up cargo space either. So you can see the Spanish are really amazing. I'd say they're a little bit better at getting gold and fighting to get the most out of them. They have some top tier ships at the 4 and 5 mast range. So if you want to dominate with the Spanish, El Corazado, San Cristobal, Hoya del Sol, and Santa Isabel are pretty much the cream of the crop for their 4 and 5 masters. After that, it does drop off a bit, especially in terms of 5 masters. And they do have some smaller gold runners that are solid as well, but to get the most out of them, I would recommend using some of their like more galleon type ships, so like 4 and 5 masters that have big cargo spaces, and that's kind of realistic in terms of the Spanish historically, because they had all those treasure fleets coming over from the New World, many of which were sunk by storms or attacked by pirates. But in this game, they do have a lot of good like treasure galleon type ships, and you can check out and they also have the great set of native canoes. So the gold bonuses are another huge reason that the Spanish are one of the best factions. That they have pretty much the best gold bonus system in the game, and that was shown in detail in Vassal Campaign Game 1, which I'll put a link to the description. In the description below, you can check out that game and all the battle reports. One of the best campaign games, by the way, as a little aside. So the Spanish, big ships. Some of their best ships are some of the best in the game. Interesting and unique named crew options, gold bonuses. And so, question of the day, what do you think of the Spanish? How much do you use them? Are they one of your favorite factions? They're not really one of my favorites, but I did really enjoy Vassal Campaign Game 1. I got really into it, and I got really into like controlling their fleet and expanding the Spanish Empire. But I want to know what you think as well. How do you get the most out of them? Did I miss anything? And what do you think of the Spanish overall? So that's it for this video. Let me know if you want to see more, and you can subscribe and like if you want. And beyond that, thanks for watching.